Hello and welcome to Nyam Nyam. Look at this Oreo milk cake. Absolutely fantastic. A work of art, isn't it? So easy to make. You just need some chocolate cake and white buttercream icing. Just pipe it on the top there and layer up. One more layer of chocolate cake. Excellent. Refrigerate for 15 minutes, then it's slightly set and easier to carve. We're carving a sort of dome shape on the top layer of the cake. There we go. Now coat the entire cake with white buttercream icing. Smooth it out. Refrigerate for 10 minutes, and meanwhile let's get creative with some blue fondant icing, rolling a big piece out flat, then covering your cake. Use your fingers to press it down. Moulding it to the cake. Then slice off the excess. Now turn your cake upside down. And stick on your fondant decoration. Pipe on some pretty white buttercream icing. And stick on some Oreo crumble, which is just Oreo cookie broken up. Stick on a fondant decoration which looks like a straw. And there you have it. Amazing! Oreo milk cake. Looks too good to drink. Oh, you can't drink it. It's a cake, of course. Well, never mind. I guess we'll have to just eat it instead. Fantastic spooky recipes for you this Halloween. If you want to get creative and make something a bit fun and different, we've got this ghost strawberry cake lined up for you. Start with some fondant icing to make your decorations. We're going to roll out some white fondant icing and cut it into strips and then into little triangles. These are going to be teeth. When those are ready, you can get some brown fondant icing and use a little bit of water to stick on your white teeth. A row along the top and a row along the bottom. Perfect. Right, let's get our strawberries. We're just going to take a little indent out of one side and stick on your mouth. Push it in so it stays there, and there you have it, a spooky strawberry. Next, get your cake. We're using chocolate cake, and green buttercream icing is going to be layered with 3 layers of this chocolate cake. Then we can coat the outside in purple buttercream icing. You can use any colour you like, but we like bright green and purple. Yay! Drizzle on some green chocolate ganache so it looks like slime, something out of a Ghostbusters movie. Cover the top too. Perfect. Now you can pipe on a few little blobs of green buttercream icing. These are going to make wonderful cushions for your spooky strawberries. There you go. Ready to stick them on. Brilliant. Let's make it even more spooky by adding some fondant tentacles. That's right, looks kind of like an evil octopus ready to break out of the cake. We've just shaped some black fondant icing and stuck on some white circles to those to look like tentacles. Super easy, really. And there you go. Bring out the spooky artist in you. Ooh, yum. Are you nuts about donuts? Then this donut cake is for you. Covered in pink and pink inside too. All you need is 430 grams of cake mix in a mixing bowl with 3 eggs. 300 millilitres of milk go into that, and we whisk it up using an electric whisk to make it faster. Once that's ready, we're going to pour it into our bunned cake tin mould. Of course, this is to give us our donut shape. So that goes in the oven to bake at 170 degrees for 30 minutes. Rising perfectly. And once it's ready, we take it out of the oven and we're going to slice it in half. Next, we're using a spoon and scooping out the inside so as to create a kind of moat effect around our donut. Removing the crumbs we're going to add our white chocolate ganache, which we have coloured bright pink on the inside. That way you get a nice surprise when you cut into it. So we're going to cover the outside of our donut with brown buttercream icing, nice chocolatey colour. Cover every part of it, and then pink fondant icing. Brush a bit of water on that, ready to stick on our rainbow sprinkles. And there you have it, a giant donut cake. Gorgeous, luscious pink with rainbow sprinkles, a feast for the eyes. Bright and colourful with a super gooey, surprisingly pink inside. Yummy! What do you do when you love chocolate and you love cake? Well, you make this flow chocolate cake, of course. All you need is some dark chocolate melted, a silicone baking mat which you are going to just clip around the bottom of a glass. Drizzle on your melted chocolate using a food piping bag to cover the entire top of your silicone mat and let it drip down the sides. Now chill that so it sets. Meanwhile, get your chocolate cake and start to layer it with buttercream icing. We're using pink. We'll do 3 layers. We want a nice tall cake here. You'll see why soon. Coat the outside in pink buttercream icing too. Spinning the plate around and using a food piping bag makes this really easy. Smooth to perfection. And then add white buttercream icing on the top and 2/3 of the way down the sides too. Time to add your set chocolate decoration. It's kind of a bowl, and some chocolate balls can go in there. And around the edges. What else shall we add? How about some sprinkles? We're using pearl sprinkles. Lovely. And carefully placing them along the sides too. It's really handy to have a pair of tweezers, just like the same ones you use to pluck your eyebrows. Clean, of course. You can delicately place things as you want them then. A few more sprinkles. And there it is. Ready to devour. Or take photos, whatever you prefer. Go on then, dig in. Ooh, yum. Get ready to bake a perfect birthday party cake, pink and purple with a rainbow unicorn. All you need is some Italian buttercream, split equally into 2 mixing bowls. Add some food colouring in there. We're going with red food colouring to make a pink buttercream icing and purple food colouring. Put those aside and we get our vanilla cake. We've pre-made this earlier. You can slice the top off and then slice it in half, putting the purple buttercream icing on first. Once that's nice and smooth, we're going to add the next layer and our pink buttercream icing, of course. And then white, so we've got some buttercream which we have not coloured. That goes on the next layer and on the top of our cake. We're going to just smooth around the outside so we can start to layer our beautiful colours. So we're starting with purple and then pink, doing 3 rows of each colour, and then of course white. So we've got this kind of Neapolitan effect around the edge of our cake, smoothing those over and using a plastic sheet to perfect any imperfections. And along the top as well. Then it's ready to decorate. Right, with a serrated edge knife, we're going to make a line pattern around the edge of our cake. And then we're going to just squirt on some pink and purple alternating buttercream using a serrated edge nozzle through a piping bag. That goes around the bottom edge of our cake. Beautiful. Now, time to rainbow sprinkle on the top and a little along the bottom edge too. Ready for fondant icing to decorate. So we're going to just mould our shapes here because we want to make a unicorn. So here's the legs and the body, add a head on that, and some arms, and of course ears, hair, and a face. It's a sleeping unicorn, so let's have the eyes shut. Now, using multicoloured rainbow fondant icing, we're going to roll them into sausage shapes and make a rainbow. And some clouds. Placing our unicorn on the edge of the cake, we're going to put the rainbow on top and take a slice out of a cake with a spoon, putting a little bit on the unicorn's mouth, and on his hand. Makes the unicorn look like he's fallen asleep whilst eating some cake. So cute. There you have it. Super simple and fault line cakes are an absolute legend and a treat for the eyes. So easy to make, and Nyam Nyam will show you how. All you need is some buttercream and some food colouring. We're using pink food colouring. Stir that in so we get a lovely pink buttercream icing colour. Put that aside. Time for our vanilla cake. We're going to slice that up in half. And in between our layers, we're going to add our buttercream icing. Using our plain coloured buttercream icing for this bit. Smoothing it out evenly using a spatula or flat knife. Smoothing it over the sides. Adding layer upon layer of vanilla cake and buttercream icing. Smooth all around the edges. And on the top. Right, now time to add our pink buttercream icing. That goes all around the side of the cake, just in the middle section. Smoothing it down over the white buttercream icing. Time to add our sprinkles. And of course, don't forget our pearls. Adding that around the middle part where our pink buttercream icing is. And we're going to use a food piping bag to squirt in some more pink buttercream icing all the way around the edge of our cake, starting from the bottom. And we're going to add several layers, one on top of the other, until we reach our sprinkles. Now this step gets repeated on the top of the cake. Again, several layers of pink buttercream icing until we reach where our sprinkles are. Now we're going to smooth those layers over from the top and the bottom of the cake using a flat knife or spatula. Careful not to let it go over the sprinkles. Now we can use a plastic sheet to just tidy it up and flatten it out, covering any gaps that might be there. Adding some pink buttercream icing, of course, on the top of our cake. Swirling out in a spiral shape from the centre outwards. Covering the entire cake in pink buttercream icing. And again smoothing it out with a spatula. Add a few big pearls for finishing touches. Gorgeous. Now we're going to use some gold food colouring to just paint the rim where our pink buttercream icing meets our sprinkle and pearl section. Creating a kind of a wavy effect on the edge. It doesn't have to be perfectly straight by any means. Taking care as we do this. And there. It's ready to roll. Stunning! Look at that masterpiece. Sprinkly, pearly, pink delight.